Hey guys, it's Kimberly here, and if you notice anything different about me, yeah, I cut my hair. I'm just kidding. Yes, I got a nose piercing, and I just wanted to talk about it, talk about my experience, pain, cost, all of that. Let's get right into it. I'm going to start off by saying I have been wanting to get a piercing since I was about 14 is when I probably got the idea, 13, 14, and I'm 16 now. And originally I wanted a lip piercing. I wanted a hoop on my lip, and when I talked to my sisters about it, I was kind of into makeup, you know, like getting into makeup, and they kind of told me not to because, you know, lipstick and just all that, and I wouldn't go with it. And you know, you should of course get whatever piercing you want for whatever reason you want, but as I thought about it, it did make a lot of sense. But I still wanted a piercing really bad. I don't know, I just did. My sister said you would look great with a nose piercing or an eyebrow piercing, but I went with the nose piercing, obviously, you can see. So I originally wanted it a couple years ago. And now bringing it up to my mom. Now my mom's usually like really chill, but she does not like piercings. Tattoos she's fine with, but piercings she is not fine with. So trying to convince her like I want a piercing really bad, she obviously didn't let me do it right away, and she told me like, oh, ask me when you turn 16. So yes, I waited and waited. I even asked her when I turned 15, still no. And I waited when I was 16. I even put a reminder on my phone, and when I finally got the reminder, I was so happy. And it's August now. I'm filming this on the last day of August, so I turned 16 in May. And so yeah, obviously I did wait longer than I had wanted to, but my mom, she doesn't like piercings, so you know, she wanted to wait it out as long as possible. And finally I kept bugging her, and we set a date to finally do it, and I was so excited. And yeah, so we set up a date, and I was so ready to get this piercing. Like, I had watched YouTube videos, a lot of Brianne Barbie here on YouTube. She has a lot of piercings and tattoos. Bailyn Brittany, Sarah Hawkinson, just some YouTubers that have gotten nose piercings that I watched videos about just because I wanted to be ready, like so ready for this piercing. So we go to a tattoo shop to get it done, and he asked me gun or needle, and I know that I should always go with a needle, so I did get it done with just a hollow piercing needle. You know, he did that. And on a pain level, I've heard that nose piercings, even though it is cartilage, it doesn't hurt that bad. So I wasn't that scared. If anything, my mom was scared more than I was, and she was, I guess, trying to psych me out of it, but I wanted this for so long, I wasn't going to back out. And disclaimer, yes, I am 16, but I believe in the state of California you could get a piercing or even tattoo as long as you have a parent or a guardian there with you and you have consent or whatever. So small disclaimer. Anyway, so we get there, I say needle, and the place that I go to does it for $10, and you know, so it was $10 flat. But the thing was that when he pierced me, piercing was too small, and I didn't realize this until the day later. But before I get into that, actually getting it done did not hurt. Like, it wasn't even that bad. It honestly felt like he pinched my nose, and then that was it. So I was not scared at all, and it did bleed a little bit. It wasn't that bad, and yeah, it was great actually. I didn't feel a lot of pain. So back on the topic of the small thing that went wrong. And as you can see, my nose isn't like the smallest thing, it's actually quite big. And this is a piercing he originally gave me. As you can see, it's quite small. You probably can't see that. As you can see, it's quite small. So he did that, he shoved it in my nose, and I knew from the start that it should either be like an L shape that kind of has something to stick up in there, but I didn't say anything because, you know, it's my first piercing ever, besides like earlobes, which I don't even have anymore. But I knew that I should have gotten something that was bigger and so it wouldn't fall out, but I didn't say anything, which I do kind of regret now, and this is why. This is what went wrong. So, you know, I got home, you know, I tried to clean up as best as I could without touching it too much, with just water and a Q-tip, because there was still dry blood around it. And when I went to sleep, I guess it pushed out a little bit, so when I woke up it was standing up, and when I tried to push it back down it would like bounce back, and I was like, you know, like, what the hell? So I look inside my nose and I don't see the end of the piercing, and I'm kind of scared because, you know, it's something I'd wanted for a long time, and I couldn't see it. I don't know where it went. And that's when I came to the conclusion that it popped out in my sleep because it was too short, and it closed up from the inside overnight. So yeah, that sucked. And I even had the temptation to just stab it through, but I did not want to do that. I knew it would have been a bad idea. Instead, I went back to the tattoo shop and I asked him if, you know, you could pierce it again, and he told me take it out, wait a couple days, wait 2 to 3 days, and then come back and get it pierced again. So that's what I did. I took it out, sadly, but it didn't hurt when I took it out. It actually hurt when I tried to push it back in. So I took it out and I waited exactly a week because I got it done on Saturday, and I got it done on a Saturday, and I didn't get it re-pierced until the very next Saturday. I went and I told him the problem the first time, and he said, oh, you needed a longer one, and he bent it. So the one I have now is L-shaped. You can clearly see inside. I'm not going to show you, but you can see inside that it has a little thing to latch onto my nose. So yes, the one he gave me was I guess the correct one. I even asked if I could get a hoop, but he said no, he's not going to do that because, like, I know that the first piercing you should get should be a stud, so that way when it heals you can switch it out for a hoop, but it just helps in the healing process to get a stud, which I do thank him, even though originally I do want a hoop. So when this does heal, I will be taking it out. And so a week later I got it re-pierced. So, and this is how that went down. I wasn't nervous just because I had gotten it before, so getting it re-pierced wasn't that bad, but it bled a lot more and it did hurt a lot more. Don't get me wrong, the pain was still bearable and I got through it, and I didn't like cry or anything. If anything, my sister, who came with me at that time, like freaked out more than I did. I guess my pain tolerance is pretty good, so, but then again, that's just me, obviously. But anyways, I got it done, and this time instead of just a little blood around it, it actually dripped down my nose, so he had to clean that up. But because, you know, think of it as it was a scab because I got it done in the same place the first time, so he basically reopened it. So I kind of had a feeling it was gonna bleed more anyways and hurt more, especially because this time he kind of had to move around the piercing so that it would go in correctly. And yes, I had to pay $10 again, but I did not mind, you know, because especially because I know that sometimes piercings, because I've heard of people get nose piercings for like $40 or $60, and I was like, hey, $10 again, like, I'm fine with that. Besides that, that's all how this happened and all the struggle I went through because the one I got was too short. But anyways, I'm gonna go into aftercare. It's still a little sore, but not as obviously as sore as it was the first couple days. I've had this for a little less than a week now, so I've heard to get like a cup of salt. I mean, that's too much salt. A cup of warm water and sea salt, not iodized salt or whatever, just good old natural sea salt. I got all of this for $2, so it's really not inexpensive. And yeah, so I literally just do that, and I soak my nose in it for about an hour, and then I wipe it with water to get rid of anything that's kind of left over. And that's basically, I don't do a lot. But anyways, thanks for watching. That's it.